just made it to Costa Rica, and in fact, it's not even dark yet, and you can already hear all these frogs around me. Here, I've even got one right there. It just turned away. That is a red-eyed tree frog, the first frog of our trip. And in fact, I think I hear a couple other things. Let's go take a closer look at these things and get ready for a great adventure. Now, something really cool is you can actually kind of tell where in Costa Rica I am by looking at this frog. So the Pacific and the Atlantic red-eyed tree frogs actually have different coloration on the side. And since this one has so much blue on the side, that means that we are closer to the Caribbean side than we are the Pacific side. Although we're kind of in the mountainous area in the middle, so this might be like an intergrade, but that's one kind of neat way that you can just figure out a little bit closer of where we might be. These frogs are just everywhere. Like I said, that's the first one we saw. Here is another one here. I hear a bunch more calling from above us in here. I can't spot any at the moment, but I'm sure as it gets darker, we'll have a bunch come out with us and maybe even a couple more species. So this is looking like it's going to be a really good night. Oh, check this out. This is a really hard frog to find. This is the Sylvia's tree frog, and some of the locals out here call it the tiger tree frog. You can see that sort of orange and black stripe on the side there. So awesome to see. We are just seeing frogs all over the place. If we come back a little bit, just on this side here, we've got another red-eyed tree frog right there. This one I think is female. You can see the blue peeking out from the sides, but we've got tons and tons of red eyes to look at. This is the only Sylvia's. Where'd it go? There it is. The only Sylvia's that we've seen. It is a lifer for me. Super exciting to see this. All right, let's keep going. All right, Tatiana is shining for frogs here. This pond is turning to be awesome. So this is when it was still light out, we had the red-eyed tree frogs. You can still hear them in the back. Right there at the center of her light that just jumped, that is the brilliant forest frog. They have some really pretty colors in like the concealed portion of the legs. It's always good to check that. And the other call that just happened, that is that guy in the distance. That's the Mahogany tree frog. He just, it was a different individual who called, but they're very cool looking frogs. There it is again. Hey, let's take a look. Let's see if we can find another. Thank you. Another brilliant forest frog.
And then another one right over here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, just a really productive area. We also spotted, this was during the daytime and I didn't get footage at the time, but that is a little egg sac there. That's the egg sac for the red-eyed tree frog. And I think we had seen another one nearby. Oh yeah, all the way up there. So really cool, really productive area. And the nice part is this is about, 100 feet from our cabin where we're staying. So it makes it super convenient. Anything else that we want to show them, Tatiana?
There's definitely some red-eyed tree frogs, but we'll probably make a separate video for that because we found like probably 15 in just tonight alone.
Yeah, well, they're definitely included in this one. Oh, I see one. I actually see one up there. As she mentions it. Yeah, everywhere. Right in the back there, you can see its white throat shining back at us. Very cool. We got so much more to find. All right, we got one more frog. This one was actually right next to that red-eyed tree frog. This is the masked tree frog. And if you remember from some of our other Costa Rica videos, we've seen these in like our pool at our hotel room or in the common pool for the resort. Like they show up in these nice body of waters. This, I'm sure we'll find some closer ones later on tonight, but at least that one is pretty hard to see, but one more off the list. Oh, this is amazing. This is the first snake of the trip, and let's zoom in on it. It is, of course, a venomous one. This is the Eyelash Viper, and if you see right above the eyes, it has little eyelashes. Kind of similar to like are sidewinders in a sense, although very, very different snakes. But they will sit here all night and just wait for prey to come by, and they are camouflaged very well. And the really cool thing is that they're very variable in color. And so I'm hoping that on another night, or maybe even later on, we could see one that is a different color to show you some of the variation. But this is definitely probably the coolest thing we are going to find out here as far as snakes goes. And I don't want to get too close because, like I said, they are venomous. This little baby frog is a little Mexican Smilisca, or Mexican mass tree frog. It doesn't really have much of the field marks yet, but it is cool to see that little tiny frog. They really do come in all sizes, because this, as an adult, they do get quite big. So very cool. Oh, look at that. Check it out. So we're back at that.
We're gonna see it eat it.
We're back at that spot.
It's literally about to eat. It looks like he's like going in for another. Yeah, do it. Why isn't he taking a bite?
What is this? I think he already had a bite. Maybe he's got to swallow.
Looks like, yeah, his mouth keeps opening. Good spot, Greg. Piece right there. Oh yeah, he's doing it. Oh yeah, he just did it.
Yep.
Wow.
He just ate one of those red-eyed tree frogs, and it looks like he's gonna have a really nice meal because he's got a bunch more eggs to eat if he wants to.
Wow. Another one. Oh, that's a big bite. Ooh. Wow.
I think he had enough.
Going back.
Right here is that snake that was just eating those eggs. Look at it. What excellent camouflage. We're able to pull down the leaf to get a closer look. The eggs are right here. Nice up and close. That's so cool. But yeah, nice little snake. So that snake that we just found, I thought Tatiana was going to be in the shot here. There she is. She's hiding. That was the Steininger Snail Sucker, and I may have mispronounced that first word there. It's a little difficult, but it's completely harmless, but really cool to see it munching up there, and just kind of tucked away. Oh, Tatiana's shining for us up there. It's still in that little section of the just the top of the leaf there, but really awesome to see that. That's a lifer for me. One of the things that I've noticed with a lot of those like snail eating snakes is their heads look really big, and so it's a really quick way to sort of identify snakes that are in that. I'm not sure if it's a genus or a family, but we'll look it up later. Tonight is definitely a night of lifers. That's our third one so far. The others was the Sylvia tree frog and the eyelash viper. So, Tatiana's got three frogs to show us.
Okay, well, one right there.
Yeah, look at that.
One
We've
right
got
there, and then one back there.
Tatiana is showing us a couple
and then a red tree.
mahogany tree frogs and a red-eyed tree frog. Nice spot. All right, this is that red-eyed tree frog that Tatiana spotted, but you'll notice we've actually got two here. These frogs are in amplexus, which means that they are mating, and the females are a lot bigger than the males, and you can really see that gorgeous color on them. And after they're done, they'll plant those eggs that we've been seeing up top, and you can really see these are some of the frogs that Tatiana was pointing out from the other side. That's a mahogany tree frog, another one there, and I think there may have even been a third one, but they're a little hard to find at the moment. So really cool to get these frogs doing their natural behavior like this. All right, we saw one of these before, but it was all the way up in a tree. This one is eye level, and it's perfect. This is the masked tree frog, and the one that I mentioned before that we often find in the pools a little bit, the hotels here. So excellent to see. He's pretty big and chunky. We also had the common Mexican tree frog, or the Mexican Smilisca, that's very closely related to this frog, but it doesn't have quite the same sort of stripe through the eye, and they tend to be a bit more variable in color. So we'll show you another one of those probably when later this night. Tiana did an excellent job and spotted this little frog that was just inside this little piece of the hotel infrastructure, and I'm not 100% sure what this is. It looks a lot different, but I see that light spot under the eye. I think this might be another common Mexican tree frog or Mexican Smilisca. We'll have to do a little bit more research to confirm, but that's what this might be. That. All right, right in here we have our Mexican Slimisca, or the Mexican tree frog. You can see much more variable. This guy's all yellow, but we've seen some that are green when we're up in when we actually been in Mexico. But it's a lot different looking than that masked tree frog, but very, very related, similar species. Very cool. So last night was amazing. We saw a lot of cool things, and now one of the things that I mentioned is when you see these snakes that like sit in the trees and really just try to hunt by waiting for things to come past, you can come back during the daytime and they'll usually be in the same spot. Here, check this out. So right in here, you can probably see it already, is that little eyelash viper. Hasn't moved at all. I mean, I think the head is in a slightly different position, but other than that, it is in the exact same spot. And now we get a daytime look at it. All right, well, this is also a good place for mammals. So here we go. In there is a little gootee. Oh, no, he's still there. You can see they're like big rodents, and he's got some pineapple from breakfast that he's enjoying. There he goes, just munching on his pineapple. All right, we got another viper to show you. This one's nice and easy to see during the daytime with good lighting. Right there, that is another eyelash viper. You can see much different coloration and a lot of great camouflage. Very green, this one. And if we get down a little bit lower, hopefully we can make it out. You can see the eye, and right above it is those little horns, those little eyelashes, where it gets its name. So cool to see one more, and they're just gonna sit here and wait for something to come by on this log and have a nice meal, like a frog or something. Look at that. It's so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
All right, you know, you always gotta be herping. We were just out on a lovely tubing tour, and look what we just found here. A little green and black poison dart frog. You don't want to be eating these things. I mean, you don't want to be eating any of our little amphibian friends, but a really cool addition for our trip. Nice.
Pretty cool. There's a leaf cutter ant right behind it.
What'd you find?
Strawberry dart frog.
A strawberry poison dart frog.
It's right here.
Oh, nice. Look at that. This, I mean, we were just finished filming that green and black one, and now we have the other common species out here. Look at that. And you can see they've got lovely blue legs on them. Sometimes people call them the blue jean frog because of that. Oh, and it just looks gorgeous. I wish I had my cell phone rather than just the GoPro. I could really get some awesome pictures and video, but that is really cool to see. And there he goes, hopping off. Nice. Look how small that is. Look, it is smaller than my fingernail. Just hopping along the log here. Very cool. Yeah, so we've been checking out this place. The first green and black was over there. The other strawberry was near where Tatiana is now, right there. And then we found another green and black over there and over there. But this little area just seems to be an excellent spot to just pick up these guys. Where is it? It's over there. Just so small to see and camouflage pretty well at this point. Not as red as the adults. But yeah, still moving on. Well, we've got more to find, and of course more of this river to raft down. So, you know, stay tuned, and I'm sure we'll get a ton more stuff. See the summer tanager, Tatiana? Up to the right, bright red. This is nice. We just finished our rafting tour, and look what we just found. Come on down here. We were greeted by these little guys. These are little toads. Now, I'm not 100% sure what species we're looking at. They've got a couple species that are possible out here. And, you know, they're just really hard to identify as babies like this. All right, that's a little blurry. Let's try to find another one. Oh, there's one. That. Little toad. Night number 2. Now, it is a lot different tonight. We had a ton of rain last night, and it's pretty dry now. I mean, it rained a little bit during the day, don't get me wrong. So I think we're in store for a whole mess of other stuff. Last night we saw a ton of frogs. We'll probably not see as many, but tonight I have a feeling we're going to find a lot of snakes. Are you ready to get to it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go.
Well, we had some really lucky timing. This is that same Steninger's snail sucker that we had seen eating the red-eyed tree frog eggs just the night before, and is back at it. And I'm pretty sure that this sack of eggs is brand new, as I don't remember seeing it the night before either.
Oh, il va manger les œufs. Ça c'est très impressionnant. Voilà.
Il y a trop de lumière sur les œufs.
All right, this is one of the easiest frogs to hear, but sometimes one of the hardest to find. This is a tiny tink frog, and he makes that sound that you can hear, that really high-pitched tink, and we'll hear them all throughout the night. But since they're really small and they're often in these little crevices, they can be really hard to spot. But luckily, this guy is a little bit more out in the open than normal, and so we can see him, and he's even calling for us, which is great. Just give it a listen. This is an Atlantic broad-headed litter frog. They are one of the rain frogs out here. It's not raining tonight, maybe a little drizzle, but very neat to see. And yeah, they're pretty small. They're kind of goofy looking. Well, you know, when it rains, it pours. And so we've got one more of these broad-headed litter frogs right here. They got this really neat pattern on their back. If you see that, those ridge lines there. I don't know much about these frogs, but That is pretty unique. I have not seen that before. That sort of bony structure on the back. All right, so this is that common blunt-headed tree snake, and I think he's probably on the hunt for either like small lizards or frogs, and certainly we've seen a lot of frogs. But check that out. He's incredibly thin. Now, these snakes are harmless to people, but I do believe that they are mildly venomous, rear-fanged. I decided to grab this guy. Now, like I mentioned before, he is mildly venomous, but really the venom does not harm humans. I wanted to get a close-up look. That is so cool. Sweet. We'll put this guy back in just a second. All right, let's get this guy back. Just take a look at how long his neck is. Wow. And he'll look at that. Okay. He's really just such a long snake. He's going to get his position, and there he goes. Off through the trees. They are really just so agile here. Look at him go. Just one tree to the next. And he, yep, the tail is still coming. There he goes. And he's gone off to look for his next meal. So it's always good to make friends when you're at these hotels, because a lot of the staff will spot things. And so the security guard found us two things. So up there, if you look closely, that is a neotropical green anole. It happens to be the first one that we've ever seen. A nice lifer sleeping up there. And then if we come over here, he also pointed out this little snake here, which I think is another Steininger's Snail Sucker. And if you look, it has a very similar pattern. It's got this like, these red, I don't know what to call them, these red blotches on the back and on the stomach. And what an excellent snake. Next way, it's a little windy, so that's why everything's shaking so much. And it's a little high in the sky too, but really cool to see another snake. But like I said, always good to make friends with the locals, because they can make the job a lot easier. Check it out. Here is that little snail sucker. What beautiful colors. Check that out. Let's turn that light on. They really do have such a beautiful mossy pattern to them. It's really cool. Look at that. Now these guys are not venomous, and so perfectly fine to handle like this. It's very active. He won't calm down, but that's okay. Sniffing around a lot. We'll put him right back in his tree. Up he goes. All right. Oh, there we go. Back. Right back where he belongs. Working his way up. All right. Well, we of course can't skip out on this old reliable guy. This is the Eyelash Viper, and he hasn't moved since we got here. So probably will be here in the same exact spot when we leave too. So, but we'll move on and look for something else. We are seeing a lot of these Steiningers. The snail suckers, look at that. Here's another one crawling through this tree. So that is the third one of the night. He's like, where's he going? Is he gonna make it to this branch? What a cool snake. Nope, changed his mind. Yeah, so crazy. Nice looking. And this is the first time we really get to see the belly of it too. Neat. Now, common names can sometimes be a little tough but I find it easier to remember than the scientific names. So you may also hear this guy referred to as the lichen-colored snail eater. So, cool guy. And he's just moving his way. All right, we luckily found another one of these beautiful green and black poison dart frogs. And this time I've got my phone with me, so the footage is going to be a lot better than what we saw with the GoPro. Check that out, just beautiful colors. All of the frogs that we see at night, they try to find hiding places among, you know, the leaves here. And sometimes they're pretty good, hard to find, and other times they're pretty obvious. So here is our masked tree frog, who has done a terrible job picking a good hiding space. Very easy to see. So I came out to the jungle here to try to find one more thing before we leave. We're actually on the way to the airport very soon. And of course, as I'm at the very, very end of this trail, one of the hotel, somebody from the hotel staff messages me and tells me they found another snake, a new snake for me. So let's rush on back there and see what they found. This is an absolute treat. This is a hognose pit viper. So definitely venomous, not something I want to get too close of. But if we look closely, I think we may be able to see that little tip of the nose, how it's upturned like that. That's where it gets his name for hognose. All right, we'll give this little guy a scoot off the road so that none of the cars accidentally hit him, and then we'll be on our way. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Greg Schechter.
I'm Tatiana Schechter.
And we'll see you in the field.